Adorable gay vibes is like the perfect description for this game. Because it is so fucking adorable. For now, playing. Always. And always. Issues. Adorable as VN. And you should all play! Exclamation point! And I'm actually gonna fucking advertise the game because I fucking love this game so much, and I'm so happy to share it with everyone. It's such a it's so good. It's so adorable. It's perfect. Like, I'm a big fan of just the boys love genre in general. But it's so much like welcome to Our Life Beginnings and Always. There are various ways you can customize and interact with the game. This tutorial is an overview of how certain features work. You can read the full tutorial from the main menu to learn about everything in detail. To start off, the game is divided into... I have played this before, so I know how it works, but I am going to go through the explanation. To start off, the game is divided into 4 time periods called steps. Step 1, childhood. Step 2, adolescence. Step 3, young adulthood. And Step 4, adulthood. Our life is further divided into sets of vignettes that take place during specific periods of time. Those are called moments. Moments can be played in any order or skipped entirely. You move on to the next step whenever you want by selecting that summer is ending. Steps 1 to 3 include 5 moments each, and even more can be unlocked by purchasing DLC. Some are out now, and other DLC will release later on. Step 4 is an epilogue and doesn't include moments. A lot happens over the years that go by, especially in regards to the character you play as. You determine nearly everything about the main character: name, appearance, personality, pronouns, interest, skills, their relationship with major characters, and so on. You can decide to change the details as time goes on, with a few exceptions. Your last name, skin tone, and eye color can't be altered once set. Which is, that's fair. I'm a bit upset about the last name, because people do change their last names as throughout their lives, but you'd think at least, once you get to young adulthood and then adulthood, you could be like, yeah, I'm going to change my name. But no. Much of the MC's basic traits are determined on a character creation screen. As the MC grows up, more options become available on the screen. As mentioned, one of the decisions you'll get to make for your character is selecting a name. You can type in any name you like, or you can pick a preset name. Preset options are called voice names because the name will be voiced aloud by the romantic lead. You'll get to hear him say your name as you play through the story. Only the default name Jamie is included in the base name. Hundreds more can be added by getting a free voice name expansion DLC. The full collection of names is separated out as a DLC because of how large it is. If you're not interested in that feature, you don't need to get it. Do I have that on my thing right now? I can't remember. Oh, it's in my library, so it's probably installed. Let me just check. I think there's only 2 DLC content I don't have, that being Baxter's story, because I didn't necessarily like Baxter as a character. And then the art book, just because I just haven't gotten around to getting it yet. The full collection of names is separated out each. If you are not interested in that feature, you don't need to get it. Each name in the DLC belongs to or was selected by someone who supported this project. On the character creation screen, there's a cute doll you can decorate to get an idea of what your MC looks like, with the different traits put together. Not all the things you decide about the MC appear on the doll. The script referencing what you've decided for the MC is the main way those decisions influence the game. Our life has a first-person perspective, so your character doesn't appear next to other character sprites. You only see the MC as the decorative doll and in special cut-in CG images. The cut-in CGs only appear if certain choices are made. It's possible not to see any during a playthrough. There's also a second type of special MC-based screen, the interest/comfort screen. Once you get DLCs, the game has one love interest. Unless you get DLC, the game has one love interest, Cole Holden. He grows up with the MC, and the interest/comfort screen is crucial for determining how that plays out. Interest level sets how much you like him. There are 4 levels: disinterest, fond, crush, and love. Love is only available starting in step 3, and if you are at fond or crush in step 2. Comfort determines how you generally reactions think when it comes to him. There are 3 levels: nervous, relaxed, and direct. Your level of interest and comfort will set the type of dynamic your character has with the love interest. What you did in the past will influence the present, and feelings can change over time. You get to pick your interest/comfort near the beginning of every step. Comfort can switch between the 3 levels as you please. Your interest level can only stay the same or increase. Your current level of interest will become the new lowest option on the screen in the future. For example, if you decide to be fond in step 1, disinterest will not be available on the screen in steps 2 and 3, which will make fond the bottom level option for your relationship. Interest level has an impact when it comes to physically interacting with Cove. While growing up, things are rather simple. If you get along with one another and have a close relationship, you can choose to, and Cove will occasionally interact with the MC in light-hearted or comforting ways. Why did I hesitate when reading that? Because that's not... just means physical interaction. That's not that bad. Maybe I'm just uncomfortable with physical interactions myself. Maybe. But starting in step 3, touching can become more romantic or suggestive if you're at crush or love. To make sure things go nicely with that, there will be an extra choice to determine initiative level, and a bonus mini-tutorial that goes along with the choice to explain the feature in more detail. Basically, if you decide you like Cove, the game won't force you to act on those feelings. You can always choose not to get together with him, choose not to accept or give romantic gestures, etc. If you do decide to date Cove though, you can't break up with him later, which is unfortunate, but it is literally a dating game. Sort of. Like, it's more so about, like... I guess it's more like a relationship game, because the point isn't to date the main romantic lead. It's to develop a relationship with him and see how things go. Like, you can just be entirely platonic if you chose to. If interest/comfort gets the basics down, but it's the choices that appear throughout the normal game events that decide what actually happens between the MC and Cove. As it isn't only the MC who is impacted by your decisions. Cove grows and changes over the years. How he's treated and what he experiences help shape who he becomes. In step 2 and 3, Cove's personality, appearance, and interests will vary based on what happened in the previous step. It's something of a mystery exactly how your decisions end up changing him. You can try to guess as you go along. Or, if you prefer, you can also just design your own idea. Oh, I'm taking it this is your first time. No, I've played the game before, but I think I completed it like twice or something like that. But I like, when I play a new game on stream, because I haven't played it on stream before, I like going through the tutorial if it has one. Just for, like, people who haven't played the game before, they can understand what's going on and not get confused. Because I know I would get confused. Or if you can... English. Or if you prefer, you can also just design your own idea. Cove directly uses the Cove create... fuck. I'm great with English. There's a lot in the intro stuff, yeah. Hang on, I need to take a breath for a second, because I tend to get a little bit flustered when I speak, because I have a speech impediment, so... Oh, excuse me. Or if you prefer, you can also just design your own ideal cove, directly using the Cove Creator option that pops up at the beginning of steps 2 and 3. Is there a font selection? Because there is no font selection. I know it's in the sequel, but I'm guessing it's not in this version, in this one. I say this, I know the sequel demo has like Open Dyslexic as a font that you can choose, but I'm guessing that's not a thing here. Does it look like it? Making the choices you want is always more important than making a choice because you feel like you have to in order to get a certain result. When a choice does appear, usually you'll see that hovering the cursor over an option shows a certain color: yellow, blue, or green. The colors aren't related to specific points or effects. They're only there to give a bit of insight on the tone/emotion of the choice. Since text alone can potentially be read in more than one way. Excuse me again. I don't know why I'm burping so much. I literally just been drinking water today. Blue tends to be casual/straightforward, yellow more emotive/reactive, and green less certain/uncommitted. Though there are hundreds of options in our life, and not every choice menu falls in line with that pattern. Picking just one color every time doesn't give a gameplay benefit. Only stick to a certain type if that's what you happen to like. Otherwise, switch between them freely. I think there's a couple lines that you're more likely to get if you stick to certain color choices. Like, I know, I was actually looking at the community hub for the game, and there was one specific line that Cove says to the player. Yeah, it's just the literally just the "because you were horny" line. And literally, like, the easiest way to do that is just to select, the direct options, which tend to be blue. And then be a little bit more seductive and raunchy and stuff like that as you get to those respective steps. So there are, like, some lines that work that you can only sort of get if you focus on specific colors, but it honestly... I don't see the point in stuff like that. Like, unless there's an achievement tied to it, it doesn't really matter. I prefer to just play and interact as if, I was talking to Cove, or if, say, I was deciding to, I don't know, my brain's flustering, my brain's being stupid again, because that's great. Always pick yellow, never pick yellow. Pursue romance right from the start, never romance the love interest. Be disagreeable or amiable. None of them will lead to a bad ending. You're welcome to enjoy the events and shape the story without reservation. And then, if you like, you can play again to try something new. There's only ever more good content to discover. We hope you'll have a nice time with our life. Thank you for playing. I love this game so much. Now what's the actual spelling that they use for Robin here? I think it's Wyatt, yeah. Don't know why I can't... Does it work if you do Ian? I can't remember how the voice DLC works. I know now and forever, it doesn't matter the spelling. Oh well. They. I need a surname. Let's just do squared. Because I'm not putting my actual name out there. Pale works. I guess my actual facial shape fits more with pointy and like chubby at the same time. Oh, hang on. Where's my phone? I'm gonna have a look at myself. It's closer to pointy. Pointed, I guess. My eye shape. Eye shape? Oh, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, let's just go with the round. Blue. Technically a bit of a blue-gray, but whatever. Oh, there we go, flowy. Is there a flowy for the back? E. Markiplier be like... Yeah, I could make a joke here. Blue hair, pronouns. Oh my gosh. It's like I'm a walking stereotype. Let's go purple. Yeah, I actually like that. My birthmark IRL has faded. I don't think I have scars on my face. Hand size. Let's go medium. Glasses. None of these are the right shape for my glasses, but whatever. Oh gosh. Scar on my arm. I actually have a scar on my right arm. And I think I have another one on my left somewhere. Freckles. Just sort of spread out. Clothing types. Pants and shirts. Accessory types. Bracelets, necklaces, watches. And sometimes hats. There we go. It's a me. Oh, cool. Okay, so I can just spell it however I want. I like that. Okay. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came from with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of school-less vacation with it. During the summer, your mums didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mum called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. You didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyway. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people, since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi back to most of the other residents that greeted you. But they all knew you well enough to expect that. This one works. You enjoyed learning all about where they were visiting from and hoped to visit those places one day too. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung from the ground overnight. I just realized I have skip on. I'm going to turn that off. Can I not turn it completely off? So I just have to be very careful not to accidentally press control. Whoever or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who you didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your mums called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your mums had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite then. This one works. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. But you were pretty impressed. You wanted to know more about what was going on. Interested, not impressed. Whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. You slowed down, your mind racing for ideas on how to get past him unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met and you took in a shaky breath. Your eyes darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump, but still you didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of a nearby gatepost, and its black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way towards you. Yeah, it'd be a bit tough to focus on something else when there's a strange guy that I've never met just walking towards me. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms and stared. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. Your whole body was frozen in place as he approached. Still unsure, but still wanting to be friendly, of course. The man gives a grin of his own back. Do you live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tanned skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo. And you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. I mean... While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. You continued to say nothing. You should never tell a person you've never met where you live. Because that's how to get kidnapped 101. If they're standing outside your door, you just keep fucking going. You do not even try and get inside your house. You just go. If you do, he rubbed the back of his neck uncomfortably, giving you a small smile. If that's not the most suspicious thing I've ever seen. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? Nothing bad. Sorry, I should have... Let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove. Yeah, obsessed about the ocean. Who's about your age. Cove. That seemed like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. You thought that was pretty cool. He wasn't the only person like that in Sunset Bird. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured toward the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The giant for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Robin, White. You must be Robin, White, right? I met your mums earlier, and they told me you were 8, just like him, so... He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid, you'll like him. But you've got to keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You enjoyed the man. You kind of felt sorry for Cove. Did other kids really get their parents to pay for friendships? Had your mums done that for you and Lizzie? The thought made you frown. What do you say? Want to make a deal? You didn't want the money. You ran away. You took the bill. I think if it was me, I would not have I just wouldn't have taken the money, to be totally honest. You took a step back from him, clearly refusing to accept the offer. It deflated enough to notice, but not completely. It won't be so bad, even if it's just for the summer. That'd be enough. That only made this sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he tucked the bill into a back pocket and changed the request. I get it. You don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming by for a normal visit? No money involved. Yeah, I want to meet him. Okay, you can do that. I guess. You'd have to ask my mums. You didn't answer the man. You'd have to ask my mums. His smile got bigger again. His eyes crinkled at the sides. Excuse me. Of course, they invited us over earlier, but I'd like to ask you too. Then, I guess you can? I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbours today, but... Well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and sunglass, and he's got a pink He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. Sure thing. I can try. Okay. Sure thing. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that, but you were still going to help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head. Paused before doing so, and then pulled his hand away instead. Your mums are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back and... That's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Robin. So much. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. Step 1. First sight. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore, and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean, it was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents you imagined living far beneath the waves. You didn't enjoy the beach all that much, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. It's coarse, it's... fuck, I forget the quote. I forget the quote. Someone say the quote, please. Someone say the Anakin quote. Please. Someone. I do love the ocean though, it's so pretty. I just don't like sand. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. Oh, he's so sad. Look at him. I will protect him with my life. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a little longer, feeling a little bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. Though the deer didn't have green hair, wavy eyebrows, huge sunglasses, pink casts, sad frowns. But this new boy did. You wondered what could have upset him. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another, and then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hi, Space Cadet. That's such a weird line. Are you lost? Hi. Are you lost? With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had stuck out to you. Cove? Ah. Eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? I'm all-knowing. Lucky guess, I met your dad. I'm all-knowing. That's a lie, tell the truth. Okay, your dad told me who you were. Oh. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave it if it is. Yup. You can't own a hill. Why not? How could you? You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, this still isn't mine. Oh. I want to do voices, but I also I can't just do voices sometimes. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it travelled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Aww. Almost like they'd never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents, they didn't want to live together with me anymore. Aww. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mum made my dad leave, and he took me with him. And now we have a house here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heavy with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. You'll like it here, you just have to get used to it? Jesus fucking Christ. Stop crying. Like, okay, I'm just an insensitive prick. Your dad seems kinda nice. I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again after another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your mums. but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Robin! I didn't even have to say anything. Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell him we're here.
I want to go home.
Oh. Oh. Oh, my heart. Fuck. I love the voice acting in this game. I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry, I have to. It will be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna be all fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You called out yourself, you waited silently with him, you tried to convince him. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you and they rushed over. Both of your mums were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Robin, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbour. I thought you might have gone off further away. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everybody acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. He's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. That's a bit forward, man. You're a bit young to be thinking about marriage. But that's just so funny. You nodded, smiling slightly. Oh, that's wonderful. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Good thing Robin knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Oh. Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading toward the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, can I show him my stuff? It sounds like words. No. You nodded, ducking your head down. Sure, can I show him my stuff?
Of course.
Ah, it's voiced! Ah! Of course. Then, okay. Both of your mums laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mummy put her hand around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Choose your feelings for Cove. Let's go fond. And then relaxed. I think I want to play it as a platonic relationship. Just because there's charm in a platonic relationship. You know, most people who play games like this, a lot of people do go for the platonic route, but like most people be like, oh, I'm gonna romance the main character. It's a dating game, blah blah blah, and it's like, why? What's wrong with a platonic relationship? Though at the same time, like, you can love someone that you're in a platonic relationship with. Like, I love my siblings. That's a platonic relationship still. I guess it's more familial, but whatever. I love my friends. There we go. Begin step 1 at relaxed fondness. You won't be able to change it again until step 2. Yeah. At the breakfast table the next morning, you finished your food faster than usual. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you'd stayed put. Today, just like your mums had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Robin? Yeah, I am.
How sweet.
How sweet. I'm so happy he moved in.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah. Haha, I don't know, am I? Am I done? Can you use your eyes? Jesus. Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. Mm-hmm. Good job. He should be here soon. Cleanup began, and then on cue there was a knock. It was hesitant, like a person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Robin, could you get it? Wiggling out of your chair without really pushing it back, you made your way to the door. Hey, thanks for having us. Why did I just give him the gayest voice ever? Mr. Holden, as your mums have called him, and his son was there. Were there. Because, yeah. Just drinking some water. Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room, and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him and Mum and Mummy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see your new friend again, you smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. You twisted the threaded bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the crystal bead bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the flower bead bracelet on your wrist. You twisted the threaded bracelet on your wrist. I actually have a threaded bracelet. It's one of my favorite ones. It's in the pride colors. It's amazing. I love it. It was actually a gift, and I'm very happy it was given to me. Let's go play in my room.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids. See you later, son. Play nice. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out of. I mean, ignoring the bed, that's just my room at the moment. It's my actual real life room, just stuffed animals everywhere. I have so many stuffed animals that I have to keep a heap of them in my closet, just because there's not enough room in the rest of my room. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. This one's me currently. Thank you. You're welcome. You smiled at him, you were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. You started to feel a little bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. You had put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You hoped he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you'd collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A box of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Oh, it's a hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I think so. Wanna see? You gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand.
Neat.
Neat! This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice, or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. Oh right, I almost forgot. Shiloh is going to be here today. Shiloh? Lizzie's friend, or like, her number one fan, I guess? Do I have to see him? It should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine. But, you know. Come on, check out my shells some more. I found this one under a big piece of seaweed that had washed ashore, and you pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. Your voice faltered a little bit, but you kept going as best as you could. That's just me. You were really proud of your shell collection, and it made you happy that Cove was interested in it too. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves. Cove listened with what looked like the full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him every now and then while showing him your collection. Kids, what was that? Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making your mum happy, but Mummy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Technically, they did find each other by accident. I don't, even in the basic narrative of the story, I don't think Robin was, actively looking for Cove. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Before you knew it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I bought the box of shells. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Great. Okay, but be careful. You should have asked. He should have asked, but I don't care enough. Great. Bust it open. We can keep looking while we wait for Shiloh. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. That's my favorite too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure. You liked it a lot, right? Uh-huh, but I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You insisted. No, it's okay for you. You pushed the shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present. But Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly at his sides. It was a battle you couldn't win, at least not today. Cove was your neighbour now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell that what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. You'll be alright. He's here. We can't tell him to leave. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Jesus fucking Christ. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Do you want to break your other arm? Shiloh is the least scary person alive. Cheer up. Shiloh's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea, let's go. Do you want to break your other arm? Even I don't jump out of any of the windows here, and this is my house. It is a really nice house. Imagine how much you'd have to pay to live here. The distance from the first floor living room window wasn't far, but you could tell it made Cove nervous anyway. He touched the cast on his arm. The wind had clearly released from his sails. I don't want to break any more bones. I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah. But I don't want to see him. I don't know him. You teased him. You comforted him. You comforted him. It's okay if you're worried. Nobody warned you this was going to happen. Thanks. Shiloh poked his head into the living room. It was impossible to know for sure if he'd heard what you'd been saying or not, but you guessed that he had. Ugh, I hate Shiloh. Such an annoying character. Hi, Robin. And hi, Cove? Cove shot you an uneasy glance. Hi. I'm Shiloh. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. Right, I do. What are you guys doing? We're looking at shells. Awesome! Can I do it too? Cove shrugged, then looked at your box of beach findings. What about that one? Cove just feels depressed at the moment. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach thing some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, check out this scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color. Kinda like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay. Is it your favorite? Not really. It is my favorite. What is? Maybe green or blue. It might be yellow. Oh, those are all cool. I guess. I like those colors too. Hang on, I will be right back. I need to grab another bottle of water. Wait. Alright, I am back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, because it feels like the storm is getting quite close, so I'm going to get to the moments screen, and then I will save the game, and I think I would end the stream there. Awesome! Both of them smiled. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favourite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Aww. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do too, right, Robin? The park is fun. I love it. The park is pretty great. Just no. I love it. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun things to do and lots of sand. Is that a good voice for Shiloh? I mean, he's like a lot younger than the like main characters, so maybe I could like try and do a kid's voice. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's no. That doesn't sound like a child. I have a voice that I can do that sounds like a child, but I'm trying to remember how to fucking do it. Phew. Honestly, it doesn't matter if I do voices well or not. It's all about having fun. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun things to do and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it could be cool. So, are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. And adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go, it was only fair. After getting permission from your mums, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your mums that it was so short she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie! Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Robin! Shiloh! Hi! Well, that works. Hi, how are you? I'm a whale kid. I'm so small and adorable. That actually works. She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you. But now Cove was there. You wondered if he would leave too. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new. I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestured widely with her hands, as if to present the area to the newcomer. Without interrupting Lizzie's speech, Cove whispered in your ear, quiet enough that the others wouldn't overhear. I thought kids couldn't own places like parks. Or hills. You couldn't help but laugh a tiny bit. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wriggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are? Here I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. My mum said you're Robin's age. Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. What about other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth. Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. But something in his eyes shifted when he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like mums and dads? Or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that, you're gonna upset him. Yeah, they're really bad. Only some of them don't like kids. You interjected quickly, hoping Lizzie wouldn't take things too far. Cove sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Robin in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Shiloh looked down at the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was at something else entirely he didn't really know. But she laughed, face scrunching up. Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. Wow! Somewhat cold, but whatever. Ugh. You offered him a small smile, and that at least looked to reassure him some. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life. The way sun and lunch and the beach were. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was a fun person to play with, and he seemed to like playing with you too. Of course, that was only the start of things.